Thank you for joining me as we explore the basics about creating a pivot table in Excel 2007. The goal of a pivot table is to help you analyze data. The pivot table serves the function of consolidating information so that you can make decisions based on that data. Consolidating can take the form of summarizing, organizing, or comparing information. With just a few mouse clicks, the same information can be viewed in a variety of ways, yielding a variety of answers. My spreadsheet is very simple and small probably compared to the ones you will be using. It has 3 cities and their sales for each month of the first quarter for 3 products, which are widgets, screws, and bolts. Begin by placing your cursor anywhere in the data. To access the Pivot Table option, we move to the Insert tab and then locate the Tables group, which is on the far left side. Choose Pivot Table, then choose Pivot Table again. The Create Pivot Table dialog box will appear, and the range of your data will already be included for you. Choose if you want the information to go in a new worksheet or an existing one. I am choosing New. Now on your screen you will see the layout area, which is where the report will go, on one side of your screen, and on the other side of the screen, which you're seeing currently, is the Pivot Table field list. It shows the column titles from the spreadsheet. To create the Pivot Table report, we specify which fields we want based on what we want to know from the data. This is the area at the bottom of the Pivot Table field list. We will see that Excel will be automatically placing field names here for us, or we can manually manipulate them ourselves. To get started creating our report, from the Pivot Table field list, I will choose Month, City, and Sales. Scrolling to the bottom of the dialog box, we see that Excel has automatically placed the information where it belongs. Row labels are placed on the left-hand side. Any columns that contain numbers are automatically placed on the right-hand side. Thus, it's automatically calculating the total of our sales numbers. Moving over so you can see the report area, here is what Excel has created for us. Totals for each city grouped by month. Maybe I decide I want to add the field Product. I move back to the Pivot Table field list and click on the field name, Product. Here is what that report looks like. Perhaps I now decide I only need to see the sales for one product. Let's say widgets. Click to highlight the field name that you'd like to make the change to. Once it is selected, you'll notice a drop-down arrow at the far right-hand side. Click on the drop-down arrow. Options appear showing us that currently we're viewing all of the products, bolts, screws, and widgets. I deselect the check mark and select all to deselect all the product names, and then click again to select widgets. We can take a look at the report to see the change that made. This time we see each city and each month, but only the product widgets. Now I'll go back to the Pivot Table field list. Let's say this time we simply want to see which city had the highest sales. To do that, I would simply deselect month and product. Now that these fields have been deselected, let's take a look at the result. Here is the result, and we can clearly see which city had the highest sales. Let's do one last example. Let's decide to add the field month back to our report. After clicking on the month field and adding it back, this is the result that we get. However, we can easily and quickly decide to change the way our report looks. We'll change the way the months are displayed so that each month is its own column heading. We'll go back to the Pivot Table field list, however this time moving down to the bottom of that area. We have again city and month displayed here as row labels. We'll simply grab the month and drag it where we want it to go. Once I place the mouse on top of the word month, it will become a 4-headed arrow, at which time then I can drag it over to the column labels area. Here is the end result. Let's go look at what the report looks like. Very quickly, Excel has given us another way to view the same information. This time, we have the months as labels across each column heading at the top. and we created it with just one simple change. Hopefully this shows you how easy it can be to rearrange data and consolidate your information quickly and easily using pivot tables in Excel 2007.